Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna and today we're gonna do another ink swatches in comparison. We're gonna do the Organic Studio Oscar Scupper and the Robert Oster Rose Gold Antiqua. So I am really searching for a very nice, perfect rose ink. So I wanted to compare the two just because I wanted to see how they look like on paper. I was surprised to see that they are very similar. So as usual, I already have my fountain pens inked up with these inks. I have my glass pen, which is what I'm gonna use to show you a writing sample from the bottle. The first one that I'm gonna swatch is the Robert Oster ink. I am going to zoom in so you can see clearly. And this one is called Rose Gold Antiqua, and it's supposed to be a shimmering ink. I only have maybe a small amount left in this sample, which I got from Goulet Pen. And this one has a good amount of shimmer to it. Okay, so I have to shake it up a little bit so we can see the shimmer on the swatch. I'm gonna use my watercolor brush and I'm gonna dip it in here and hopefully we can see the shimmer in there. Okay, so now let's see how this looks like on paper. Okay, I am really looking for a nice rose color because I like rose color. I like pink, but I don't like the neon pink. I like the rose gold or kind of like an old rose color. Okay, kind of like a vintage feel to it. Alright, so that's how the swatch looks like. And we're gonna take a look at this again and see how it looks like when it's dry. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna have to use my dip pen and let's see how this writes using the glass pen. And I am using the same paper, which is the Maruman Septcouleur. So I'm gonna write the name here. It's called Robert Oster. And the ink itself is rose gold. And this is called Antiqua. And the ink is very thick on this paper because of the glass pen. Gonna do the same thing. Write some loops, mate figures. We'll do horizontal, vertical lines, and I'll do X's. So as you can see, this is very thin, and this is what you call this, very wet ink. All right, so that's that. Let me rinse this glass pen so that it will be ready for the next swatch. All right, so this is how the rose gold Antiqua looks like. If I zoom in more, this is still wet, but it is showing a good amount of shimmer in the swatch, as you can see. Okay, and this is how the writing sample looks like using the Molshine glass pen. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to take my Lamy Cosmic in medium nib, and I'm gonna do another writing sample so you can see how the ink looks like if you're using a fountain pen ink. So this Lamy is inked up with the same Robert Oster Rose Gold Antiqua, and I think it kind of like matches the color. And if you look very closely, it has that shimmer in there that's trapped in the feed, and we shall see how this writes. Okay, I'm thinking of what to write, but I'm just gonna write maybe like a quote or whatever. Okay, okay. Alright, I just wrote the best is yet to come. Okay, so let's take a look at it now. Let me zoom in more. Okay, so that's how it looks like using the fountain pen. So how the ink shows up on paper is a little different depending on the kind of pen you use. Of course, it's thicker here because this is a glass pen. It's difficult to control the ink flow. Alrighty, now the next thing is we're gonna compare it with the Organic Studio Oscar's copper, and I already got a full bottle of this one. So this is named after Oscar, and Oscar is an red tri-Australian shepherd who is the newest helper in the Organic Studio. So I think it's kind of cool that they named after, you know, this ink from their dog. So it's kind of cool. I like that. So this one comes in a 55 ml bottle. It's a plastic bottle of Organic Studio. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna have to use the other watercolor brush, and I'm gonna have to, I don't know what that little dirt in there, but maybe, you know, that the dried up ink. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dip it in here, and we shall see how this lays on paper. This is a different brush, so there's no so we don't mix those two colors. Okay, we shall see how this looks like in a moment. Okay, so this is a beautiful copper color, but the copper color here is more pronounced on the swatch. But if you look on the paper, you know, if you are using like a fountain pen, it does not look copper to me. It looks more rose to me. Okay, so that's how it looks like using the swatch. Now the next thing is, let's do the glass pen, and I cleaned this up already, so there's no Robert Oster residue here. Okay, I'm gonna write the name. This is from Organic Studio. Okay, Organic Studio, and this is called Oscar's Copper. Very pretty ink, very nice. Alrighty, gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna do loops similar to what I did earlier. Okay, gonna do horizontal, vertical. I'm gonna do the X's. So as you can see, the Robert Oster is wetter compared to this Organic Studio. So you'll see that the ink is thicker, so it's drier compared to this one here from Robert Oster. Alright, so that's how it looks like using the glass pen. So the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna do the same thing, provide you with the same writing sample. This time I'm gonna use my Jinhao X450, and this Jinhao X450 is already inked up with the Oscar's copper, and I will write the same thing, and we will compare these two later. Gonna write the same thing. Okay, the best is yet to come. So both of these nibs are medium nibs. So if you're wondering if I still use my Jinhao, yes, I love this pen. So I think it's, you know, a very good beginner pen, and very reliable, I would say, for the price. And in fact, it outperforms some of the more expensive brands, but this one is really pretty. All right, so let me zoom out, and so you can see the two inks together. All right, so this is dry, I think, but not completely, like semi-dry. And in the swatch, you can see the shimmer in there. And here is how the writing sample looks like. Okay, now let's compare it with the Organic Studio Oscar's Copper. And this is how the writing sample looks like. So these are two very similar inks. And if you are on the fence, and if you are considering buying, you know, a rose gold ink, now you have a comparison. I would say that the shimmer is not really visible, you know, in the writing sample, even though I use a medium nib for the Robert Oster. And so, I mean, if the shimmer is what you wanted, I mean, comparing the two and how these two looks very similar, I would just go with the Organic Studio Oscar's Copper, because it is also just as pretty as this one. Now for the price point, the Robert Oster Gold Antiqua I think retails for $26 for, I am not sure, I think it's a 50 ml bottle. Whereas this Organic Studio Oscar's Copper, I am really not sure how much I paid for it, because I got this from Fountain Pen Revolution and they're having a sale, and this was included in the sale. I think I paid for maybe around 11 bucks for that 55, yeah, you know, it says 55 ml bottle. So the shimmer is not really that visible, but if you compare these two, they look very similar to each other. So it's very clear which I prefer, because I already got a full bottle of this one. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Which of these two do you prefer? And if you have a comment, please feel free to drop your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I am going to see you again next time. Have a good day. Bye.